Okay, jigsaw puzzles, more tips. Where did I leave off? The different stages can do different tasks. So when you have a jigsaw puzzle, you can have somebody turning the puzzle pieces over. You can have somebody finding the corners, but I will tell you, they will think things are corners when they're not corners. That's okay. Always be encouraging when you're redirecting so they don't feel like they've done anything wrong. You can have somebody sorting colors, sorting light colors. Again, those colors are tricky. We always have to take into consideration what is their vision and do they have color blindness. The occipital lobe is their vision center. Depending on where their impairment is in their brain, they might have trouble seeing the pictures, understanding the pictures, and understanding the colors. So when you say sort the green, they'll be like, what do you mean sort the green? So those kind of things. Other tips is when you're doing smaller pieces, please be in mind who's around your puzzles because we don't want anyone to put them in their mouth. Later stage residents will confuse small things for food if they're hungry and they don't realize that they shouldn't put that in their mouth, and they might. The other thing is they like stuff. And so sometimes, usually in that later moderate stage, but sometimes a little earlier, they think, oh, that's a pretty piece, and they put it in their pocket. So trying to keep up with the pieces can be tricky too. Kind of keep an eye on the pieces. I say this when the staff find random pieces, keep a baggie of random pieces so that you can put it, find it. If you've got a puzzle with a missing piece, get the random bag of pieces and look and make sure it's not in there. And then, because the last thing you want to do is set somebody up for failure. If you do have somebody who likes working 100-piece puzzles and they're able to do it themselves and they get all the way through that puzzle and there's a piece or two missing, that can be a trigger and that might set them off. So we don't want them working puzzles unless all the pieces are there because we don't want them to be upset. And sometimes they will ruminate about that and they'll worry about what happened to that piece. Well, where is that piece? So when you get ready to put those puzzles up, always check your floor, check pockets, check wherever all the pieces are. But that's also another job, is taking the puzzle apart. So maybe the resident who couldn't put it together can take it apart. So you can have them help you with that as well. The quality of the puzzle, I can get my puzzles from the Dollar Tree when they have 100 pieces or less that are like nature pictures. I love it when they come up with the Animal Planet or those kind of National Geographic, or just the really cute animals, dressed up. But they're real pictures of real animals. Those are really nice. I really do try to steer clear of the cartoony ones, unless it's job related, or I might have a theme. And so if I'm doing a Mickey Mouse theme, then maybe I'll pull out a Mickey Mouse puzzle because I'm going to do that puzzle on that day because we're talking about a cartoon that they knew back in their era. So, but I'm probably not going to have Elsa Frozen puzzles and Thomas the Train and stuff like that, unless they were donated and a family member wants their family member to do it, and I don't quite know where that puzzle came from. Then it might be in there for a little while, but I kind of read through those. Let's see. Washing hands before you start the puzzle, washing the table before you start the puzzle. Don't confuse them by giving them snacks on the table at the same time they're doing puzzles, because that's where accidents happen. And that's when they will accidentally put the puzzle piece in their mouth instead of the cracker. So that's always a good reminder when you're doing activities and games. If there's little pieces that can be confused for the snack, don't give the snack at the same time. What else am I thinking? Labeling the backs of the puzzles in case they get mixed up. I know in my environment, I might have somebody take all those puzzles and put them in one box. So that's a lot of puzzles to go through. So sometimes that happens. But how well the puzzle pieces fit together, I mean, if they don't stay together very good, they're not for people with dementia, because that's going to confuse them. Do they snap in really tight? but too tight, and they can't quite, I mean, it takes a lot to get them to snap in because they're too tight. Probably not the right puzzle for them. So that impacts as well. If you have any questions, you can get back with me and we can see problem solve around that. But also understand that some people who love to do puzzles their entire life may all of a sudden not want to do puzzles anymore. And it could be because they started having trouble with it long before you realized that they were struggling with their cognition. And now when they see puzzles, it makes them anxious. So that can be an issue as well. So that's important to think of too. If I think of any more tips, I'll do another puzzle tip. But I think that's the gist of puzzles. And it really is a great opportunity for them if you give them a purposeful task that they feel that they're good at it. Another thing to remember also, I guess, one more thing is time of day for the Alzheimer's brain really does matter. So if you're pulling out a jigsaw puzzle and they're having to think, it better be when they're most rested and their fine motor control is better. So earlier in the day for puzzles, if they've slept well, is great. The later the day gets, the more tired they get, and the less the cognition's clicking, less the fine motor control is working. And by the evening, yeah, they want more in the regards of passive activities. So, but that's enough for that. All right, thank you.